Okay, so when you compile this by after fixing this error, in fact the warnings, by ensuring that the order of declaration of these attributes were the same in the constructors as well. So we fixed that. That was not a big problem. The warnings now have been removed. Now let's run this and see the output. So we had two instances. One was the full-time faculty, which was Ahmed, and 45,000 is the salary, and Iqbal was the visiting faculty member, and who was a lecturer, and the salary is there. So this code works like, let's look at the driver file again. So this is the driver file, and the output is perfect. All right, so we need to refine our class, and the reason for this is, and that would be basically version, the last and final version, which is version 3. So in which we'll actually closely look at the faculty class and see what, see whether is there any attribute which actually uh, we need to remove. The reason for removing this attribute might be that because this is the base class, and having an attribute in the base class means it should be valid, and it should be uh, it should be there, or it should be accessible, or it is logically valid to be in the parent class, and it should be accessible through the by the derived classes. In other words, let's see whether is there any attribute which should be relevant to all faculty, because we have, this is the faculty class. So by the faculty class we mean that all its subclasses must have, are basically defined by these members. So any derived class must have a name also, must have designation also. It should make sense. All the derived classes should have salary, basic also, allowance and bonus also. So these are the two attributes that are basically we need to fix. Allowance and bonus are attributes which are not actually relevant to the visiting faculty class, because visiting faculty class only calculates salary based on the basic, and the tax is required. So only three attributes are required for the visiting faculty, for the visiting faculty class. So we just need, and these three are also required in the full-time faculty class salary calculation, which is done in the faculty this faculty dot cpp. So we need to actually fix this, and we know now we no longer now these two should not be over here, since visiting faculty, these are not valid, or these are not making sense for um, and it is not appropriate to define them over here. So these should be actually attributes specific and especially these are the special attributes only for the only for the full-time faculty and not visiting faculty. So these attributes should not be in the visiting faculty, and only are only specific to the full-time faculty. So we need to remove these, and this is the final version. We are refining our class, and there will be a lot of ripple effect, and a lot of changes might need to be done. So please concentrate on this at this point. So we are removing this over here, and let's remove this section. The tax, salary, and basic are protected, so let's remove this protected because it's coming here twice. So we have a single protected section. So now let's paste that these two attributes, the allowance and bonus, and move them to the full-time faculty class as private members. So we have now allowance and hours, allowance and bonus as private attributes of the full-time faculty class, which is quite correct, and this should have been done in the first place. But since we are discussing it step by step, so we didn't do it initially. Alright, so now our faculty class looks a bit general, that we don't have any specific attribute uh, which should only be to a particular specific derived class, which should only be inside a particular derived class. In fact, when you this is also related to something called the um, Liskov substitution principle, which you can search and find out what that is. That is so. All right. So this is now. Let's see what changes need to be made now in this class. So now, since allowance and bonus are not part of this parent class faculty, we'll just remove this. And once we remove this, basically these two constructors are the same. So just remove one of these. We have removed this in the header file, so we need to remove these over here as well. So we just need to remove this and remove it from here as well. So we just have the name, and this is the parameterized list. Name is for the initialization list. Name, designation, and basic. These are three attributes which are being initialized in the parent class. And now we have another big problem, that we have allowance and bonus over here. So in the faculty class, we said that we are defining this calculate salary according to the full-time faculty, but full-time faculty requires allowance and bonus, which are now no longer in the faculty.h class, since they were not relevant, since they were not applicable to visiting faculty, because this is a general rule that whatever members we are defining in a base class, they should be applicable to all the derived classes. So these attributes allowance and bonus were not valid for visiting faculty, so that's why we removed them from the common parent class. And now we are seeing what are the repercussions. The repercussions are that now this full-time faculty, now this calculate salary method of the faculty class will now change, since now we don't have any allowance and bonuses. In other words, we now need to define this calculate salary inside the full-time faculty class, and we simply need to remove this from here. Okay. So in fact, we can simply remove all of the code, and simply we can have we can leave it empty for the time being. And let's now this calculate salary method should be in the full-time faculty class, which is, so let's define it over here, and just doing an intelligent copy paste. And alright, so let's modify this. We just need to declare it over here. So this is the declaration, and full-time faculty.h must have calculate salary defined. So let's define it over here in full-time faculty. Oops. Let's copy it again from faculty.cpp and full-time faculty.cpp. So let's uncomment that, since that was commented in the faculty file. So this is the definition of the calculate salary method according to the full-time faculty. So now it's inside the full-time faculty class defined. So we just need to fix this as well, this scope resolution. So that's why I said we must do an intelligent copy paste. Alright, so now it looks good. Allowance and bonus are the private attributes of this full-time faculty class, which can be seen over here, and basic, tax, and salary are the protected members of this parent class. So protected are inherited as protected, so, or you can say private. So let's call them basically protected. So these are inherited as protected, which means that they are not visible to the client. So anyways, so now let's see if this is a change. Let's see whether any other change is required in faculty.cpp or over here. So now there's no alright, so this also this is also the change that we need to add, that we now make this calculate tax as protected, since we didn't want this to be accessed by the client directly. So initially we made that private, so now it's protected. We made that change in the early version, but I guess I couldn't copy that. Alright, so I'm just making changes in the version 2 file, so you can rewind the video and look at what changes were done. So now let's see any of the changes are required since we removed allowance and bonus. So alright, so there is no such change apparently. We just now let's compile this and try to run our file. Just a final sanity check. Alright, so looks good, but let's compile and run this. So let's clear the screen to remove the previous discussion of version 2. So this is version 3, the refined one. Alright, so we have an error over here, and that is basically, let's see. So errors are not bad. So errors actually help you to fix your code. And so the error over here is that we didn't fix some of the constructors. So let's see. There is no matching function for the faculty. Alright, so since we were calling the parent class constructor over here, so this constructor we have changed, so we just need to remove this. And similarly in the visiting faculty as well. No, we don't need to do that since we that didn't have those two attributes, allowance and bonus. Now let's compile and see if the error is fixed. Alright, so after recompiling, there are still two warnings, and these are in the full-time faculties.cpp line number 4, which says that unused parameter allowance. Again, the same thing that we did some changes. So now since full-time since we have made these as we haven't used them in the we haven't used these arguments to initialize, so let's add them in the initializer list, which will fix this warning as well. So bonus. Now let's see whether this array is removed or not. Voila, so that's done. Let's run this. So again, so since we have changed the design completely, so the output, although is the same of same as version 2, this is version 3, but although the output this output looks the same, but we have changed the design drastically. So let's recap what we have done. We have defined the calculate salary method for this class, full-time faculty, and we already had done this for calculate salary for visiting faculty. Now both these classes have their own calculate salary, so in fact there's no need to define this, so we have left this empty, and let's leave this empty for the moment. Alright, okay, so now we have three definitions of calculate salary in our program. We have this calculate salary empty over here. We have one calculate salary defined in our derived class full-time faculty and one in visiting faculty. Let's see when this program is actually executing, which calculate salary is being executed. So let's just add some output statements to verify this. So I've just added these output statements in each of these methods, and let's compile and run this and see the output. So now note that although there is a function defined calculate salary in the parent class, but still the specific methods of that specific instance are called as seen over here: visiting faculty, full-time faculty.